Welcome back to a little update video. We will look today, has AMC found its bottom yet? Will GameStop go up? A little update on BYND. We will look at Bed & Beyond. We will look at Riot, and we will look, is FFAI now finally finished? And then, because someone wished it, we will look at SNDL. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method on my channel. Well, then let's jump into AMC. So, today only a little update. We will just look what we have done in the last week. If you're interested in the full story, so 1-part squeeze, 2-part squeeze, price targets, and I will link the video at the end of the channel, of the video. We will just look at this little thing down here. So let's zoom in. So here, I already said in the last videos, the moment we broke this level here, this wasn't our high low anymore, and we have to go down, which we did. And I already said there's a very good chance that we could find our bottom yesterday on Friday. And it really looks nice that we have already done that. The only thing I don't really like on this is we did a triple button, but we are on the 1 hour. So if you look at the 4 hour, okay. Yeah. If not, yeah. If this is not the bottom, okay, then I think we get Monday to Wednesday, one last pullback. Yeah. But I don't think we will touch or break this trend line again. This is the megaphone trend line. So 130, 128. Yeah. If we didn't found it. Yeah. If we found it, what will happen next? Well, if you look at this on the 30-minute, yeah, this could be already our little higher low. Yeah. What I mean with that, if we take from our bottom to our peak, that's under the 786 pip. That's a higher low finish, under the BND finished. Does that mean we squeeze next week, Monday? I'm saying again, I need a big higher low to be absolutely sure. If we suddenly, I said in the last video, if we suddenly get massive volume, Friday after hours, Monday pre-market, and just do this, Friday after hours, Monday pre-market, yeah, then there would be tiny chance that we do that. So Friday after hours was flat. Yeah. So if we're getting mega, triple, quadruple volume, Monday pre-market, and do this till market open, okay, possible. Don't think so, but possible. If not, what I would look for, we will do this move, most likely if we're quick till Wednesday, so something up to 186. Yeah, I know that's much, but I mean, we are tracking squeeze, right? And then from Friday, from Monday, from Wednesday till next week, Friday, we fall to 144 and holding this shit. Yeah, not like we did last week. We're holding this. Yeah? And this would be our higher low bounce. Then for my tracking, in the second week of February, we would go up to $2.19 and then do the 0.5 pullback to 172 till Friday. So that would be what? That would be February the 13th. Yeah. And then in the week of February 16 to February 20, we would have the first part squeeze, in my opinion. Yeah? And I already said in the last video, I'm okay with deleting this pullback. Yeah, because if you get massive volume, we maybe just say we jumped this pullback. Fine. What I'm not okay with is deleting this higher low. Yeah, I can forget about this A. I can't forget about this higher low. I could be wrong, but for me, I want this higher low. But to make that absolutely clear and not invisible, transparent, I already have a position. Yeah, just to be sure. I said already in the last video, I'm not tracking this shit since 4 years, only to miss it because I oversaw something or because I was wrong. Okay. Okay. Next one is GameStop. Here again, for the full story, I will link the video with the full story at the end of the video for all price targets and. Today we're just looking what we have done in the last week. So let's zoom in. So here we see the chart on the 3 hour from April 2024 till today. And in the last video, I said I still had 2 versions, the bearish and the bullish one. And the bearish one would just mean we would knife down to $17, make a higher low and bounce there. And I also said for this version, we should have seen knife candles till latest yesterday, Friday. We didn't got them. Yeah, we bounced. So in my opinion, there's a 95% chance bearish version is off the table. Yeah. What does that mean? Well, that means that this whole thing, which is just higher low of this whole A, is finished. Yeah. Our T went lower where it started. That means that November 2025 was our V. We did a higher low, perfectly under the 7.86. Also V and A. We added a little higher low. Also, not under the 7.86, but also under the V and A. So also perfect. What we did after that, we broke out to our little a. This little a did a 0.5 pullback. Perfect. So what is the next, and bounce. So what is the next move? Well, next move, in my opinion, because when AMC is not finished yet, yeah, GameStop can't be finished either. Yeah, because they move together. I agree to that. So next move would be, in the best way, till Wednesday, something 28 to maximum 33-ish. Yeah, that would be our A. Then we take the fib from our low to our peak, and this would be then the 0.5 pullback. And in the moment, GameStop is then here, or here, depends how high it goes. AMC is finished with its higher low. Yeah? And then both can go. Thing is just because I said I can accept that AMC is not doing the A move. For GME, that's not possible. Yeah, GME already did its higher low and its outbreak. I have to see the A in the pullback because otherwise GME just goes sideways. No. Yeah. So for GME, we have to see the pullback. Just for that AMC is getting finished. Yeah. But it looks more bullish every day. And to say that, they're already writing the news. Yeah. Suddenly they're saying, yeah, Ryan Cohen will buy companies which are bigger than GameStop with all the money to make GameStop great again. I mean, the interesting part about this, yeah, and GameStop had this $9 billion already since what, 2-3 years, and now suddenly it's bullish. They're already writing the story for the squeeze. My opinion. Okay. Next one is right. So because I didn't show it in the last video, I will make the full update today again, so I don't have to fill the whole last minute video with all videos. Yeah. Just one important thing, because I got the commentary after the video with Riot that my tracking is wrong because Riot is doing what Bitcoin is doing. I then ask what that means, because I have bullish tracking on Riot. So is it wrong because this person has bearish tracking on Bitcoin? And that's the reason why Riot also have to go down? Because, I mean, you can have a different opinion than me. I'm not angry about it. And I like to discuss. But if you want to discuss something, write me more. Only saying your tracking is wrong because it's doing one-to-one what Bitcoin is doing is not enough. What does that even mean? Yeah? And to show that, even because I'm completely different opinion about this. So just to show why I have a different opinion. Left side, weekly chart right. The whole chart from IPO till today. Right side, weekly chart of Bitcoin on crypto. Yeah. And for people who maybe don't know that on TradingView, here you see I can slide from left to right, and you see exactly where both stocks are. So let's say December 2011, right is here. Then Bitcoin is, you see exactly where Bitcoin is on November 11. Okay, so this chart is starting 2010. So we look what did Riot did since 2010. Yeah, so Riot was falling all the way down to its VNA. What was Bitcoin doing in this time? Bitcoin was just going up. So maybe Riot is inverse Bitcoin. Okay, but going one-to-one with Bitcoin doesn't look like that. Okay, then you can say, okay, it was the IPO. It took some time. I mean, okay, it took some time. It's good. From 2010 to 2020, that's 10 years. But okay. Then we say, since 2020, Riot is going one-to-one with Bitcoin. Okay, so both had a pullback here. Riot had a complete absolute all-time low. Bitcoin just a pullback, but fine. From 2020 till 2021, both went up. Fine. Then Bitcoin is doing its M shape, its famous M shape. Riot is going down. Bitcoin is forming a higher low. Riot is forming a lower low. That's not one-to-one at all. Then Riot is going lower. Okay, Bitcoin is also going lower. Fine. Then Riot is just going sideways, but Bitcoin is going up. Where is the one-to-one? Where? Yeah. I mean, okay, I can agree with it if Bitcoin is doing a big move up or down, that Riot is getting influenced. I mean, we had now a little massive Bitcoin crash, and Riot went down, what was that, 20%? Okay, fine. But if you want to tell me that Riot is doing one-to-one what Bitcoin is doing, sorry, no. Not in my opinion, and not what I'm showing you. Yeah. If you want to discuss with me, and you can discuss with me a lot of things, why not? But if you want me to take you full, bring examples which are holding. Only saying wrong because it's not enough. Yeah. Okay, so for the tracking for Riot. Yeah. Riot started in its B, pulled back up to its C, then lower high, midpoint, T, all-time low. Perfect. We did a little higher low. You don't see it on a weekly chart, but you see it in the lower time frames. We broke out of the channel, went over T, This is perfectly our A pullback, perfectly at the 618, which is interesting for a crypto mining company because Bitcoin and crypto in general also likes pullbacks to the 618. So yeah, I give you that. And then we did our little A and our little B. What I mean with that, here, from our pullback to our peak, again, a 0.618 pullback. And then from here to here, this was a perfect 0.5 pullback. A to B always, so B is always pulling back a 0.5 pullback. And then even micro tracking. Here is our little higher low to the B, perfectly under the 786. And then up to our micro A. Right now, perfect at the 0.5. Yeah. So the only alternative is that we maybe have again pull back to the 618, but in general, I think directions upside. So to where? Well, my next target is still to our M line. So something out over 235. And then again, we're taking the bottom of our A to wherever our peak is. So let's say it's 350. Then we go pull back to 34, 45. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? And again, side by side, to what do I compare this to? So, left side, weekly chart, the complete chart. Right side, 6-hour chart, only this section here. Why? Because why the 6-hour chart? So we have more candles. And then we just compare this downfall and this bounce with this here, because fractals are always repeating, even on the smaller time frames and in the B's, A's, C's, and so on. So we had our C, lower high, lower high. We fell down to this low, we fell down to this low. We came up and went sideways. We have two pretty significant peaks. And on the 24-hour chart, this peak is higher. Same like this here. We fall down, make our T, do our V&A. Perfect. We're doing here the higher low. You don't see on the weekly. Broke out to our A. Our A is higher than the T. We fall back and do this sideways shit here. So, what is our next move? We go up and go over our M. And that's the reason why I'm pretty confident that our B is over the M line. And as stupid as it sounds, because we are right now only at $15, over the M line is over 230. Yeah. And after that, a long B pullback and then to C. Yeah. It just looks fine. Yeah. So maybe you disagree with me because you have puts. Maybe, but again, examples. Write why your opinion I'm wrong. Then we can discuss and work with it. Or you just want to write bullshit. Also okay. Yeah. I like to discuss things and to defend my opinion. Okay. Next one is Beyond. So for Beyond again, this time the short update. If you want to have the full story with price targets and so on, just watch the video I link at the end of the video. Today we just zoom in here. So I already said in the last video that we only have one version left. The one version was downside. That this whole thing is our higher low, and this section here was just T. Because at the time we broke this level here, it was clearly we have to go down. So I have now to say I still have two versions now. Yeah. The thing is, I said if we break down here, we will gap fill because we still have a gap here from 80 cents to 66 cents. And I still think that. Why? Just because this is the last gap. And we're tracking this whole thing bullish. So if this company is not going bankrupt and delisting, this is the last time for a very long time that we are down here. I think the next years we are up in the 20, 50, 60s. So it makes only sense that we will gap fill. I also said I would have liked to see that on Friday. We clearly didn't see it on Friday. So to fulfill this, would still mean next week, I would say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're still going to 66 cents, then making a small or big high low, yeah, till the 9th, till Friday, and then we go. Yeah. If not, because there's still version 2 done, because technically this T is finished. Yeah. The T is finished when it's going under the point where it started, and it started here at 80 cents. So technically this is finished. If this is finished, this was our V. Means till next Friday we do the higher low, yeah, and the second week of February we are already going. Yeah? I only have these two versions left. Yeah? So I think we will get our answer next week Friday, which is the 6th of February. Yeah? But I only have these two versions left. Yeah? I mean, okay, the third version, if you break here completely downside, I already said that, then this play is over. But right now, I mean, we are talking about what? About 10 cents. 10 cents. Yeah. I already have a position, just saying. But this thing looks fucking ready. Same like AMC and GME. Coincidence? Maybe. Okay. Next one is Bed Bath & Beyond. So only because I didn't do an update very, very long. Problem right now for Bed Bath & Beyond is last time I think it was only two versions left. Now, poorly, there's sadly 3 versions left. So let's start. I mean, it's way bigger, I know, but the important fractal is just this year. So it means from 2020 till today. We did our V, high, low, A, B, C. Perfect. Lower, high, midpoint. Here we see also perfectly the BM line, which only means from your B bottom to your M peak is this line. And on this line, you always see the same. You bounce on it, you fall under it, you try to go over it, but you aren't able to. You maybe be able to break it, but you can't stay over it, fall back again. And the last time you reject this, this is your M. Then you fall back to a T, your last time to sell, before you fail to your BYND. So, we start with the absolute bearish version. Version number 1 means this whole thing isn't finished. And our last peak in October was our T. Yeah? In that case, you will make new lows. Yeah? You will come down here, higher low, and then you go. Will take time, not seeing that yet. And also for this version would mean that this peak here in January was your T from this little thing, means you will go down. Yeah? That's for the bearish version. Yeah? Not yet convinced. That's why it's the most unlikely one. Second version means this here is finished. Our V was April 2025. But this whole thing here is just higher low. Yeah? The higher low to this thing here. That means that this peak here in January was still our T, and we still have to come lower than 4.65. So you will go down here. Then do this higher low, and then you go. Yeah? This is already more likely. So I would give this 40%. Yeah? The absolute bullish version means that this was already our A. Yeah? So this whole thing is finished. Our higher low to this whole thing is this little thing here. I know normally I don't like that. Yeah? But it is at least a higher low. Then we take from this V to our peak, the fib. We bounced at the 618. And right now, we're just doing, the T would be here. Right now, we're just doing a high low. So the thing is, this micro high low, is this already finished? Yeah, let's look. The thing with this is, it isn't really. Yeah. The 7.8 I showed you is here. Yeah. But it's kind of clear that this is our A. Yeah. A very beautiful 0.5 bounce. And this here is our B. Also a perfect 0.5 bounce. So we still, to finish this V under A, we still have to come, you see that? Here's our V under A. Our A bottom is here. We missed it with 1 cent. So we still, I mean, we are now at 59 cents. We still have to drop 6 cents. I mean, you can easily do this in pre-market. Just saying. If you do this, this higher low would be finished. What would come next? Well, if this is everything is finished, we will bounce from here. Our next target is already B, over $36. 0.5 pullback, going to all-time highs. Yeah? And if you're doing the same move like in 2020, there are no really 0.5 pullbacks. It's just straight up. So if right, we should be very close to just straight up. And coincidence that AMC and GME also are quite finished? Maybe. But this is a levels play. So for levels, if you bounce here, if you go over 7.69, bullish and the bearish alternatives are off the table in my opinion. For more confirmation, if you go over 967, that's in my opinion, the nearly 100% confirmation for upside. If you fell lower, in the moment you're touching or breaking 540, you will go down. That means this is then your higher low and you still have to come down to 464. Still perfect. If you're breaking this and if you break under 3.72, the absolute bearish version takes over and you have to do a new all-time low. Yeah. You have your levers. If you want to play it, take this levers seriously because they are important. Okay, next one, FFAI. So because the last update is already a little bit ago, I think that was in English, but for the full update, we have our C here in February 2021, lower high, midpoint, massive downside, up, last time to sell, down to our V in April 2025. What are our next targets? As I'm always saying, our next big A is here at the T-line at 150 and our next B here at the M-line at $5,000. But again, without a split, you won't come up here. Yeah. For our real price targets, well, is this line here at 150 is our resistance line. That is our C. In my opinion, without a split, you will reject here and die. Our next little A is around $5. Our next B at $12, $15. What we have done, well, we did our V, we did our high low, and since then, we're going sideways. So let's zoom into this. Here, we did a perfect higher low from our absolute low point. We fall under the 7.86. We did a BYND RIOT. Perfect. And since then, we are doing bullshit. And with bullshit, I mean bullshit. Because this is a micro higher low. And this is a micro higher low. And if you are following me already a few weeks, you will have heard that my time frame for the next move was between January 12th to February 19. And I also said back then, I can't imagine that we're just going sideways till the end and then getting the move. And this shitty fucking FFAI stock must have heard that, because since then we're just going sideways. But it's not that stupid as you think, because it's a pretty significant landmark. Let me show this. So, left side, the 4 hour now, in the middle, the 1 hour, just so we see more candles, in December 2024, and on the right side, April 2024, also on the 1 hour. And you see, and every time the same. You're coming from your T, you're coming from your T. You fall to your V, you fell to your V. Same like here. You're making a big higher low, you're making a big higher low. Same like big higher low here. And then you're going sideways. The same thing we did here. Sideways, same thing. Here was a little uptrending, but in this case here, it was sideways. And then you got the big moves. So this is a pretty significant landmark. It also depends how long are we still going sideways. And one absolute asshole move from this stock, because I found it already 2 times, here and here. Maybe you can find it more often, but what I'm talking about is this candle here. Same as this candle here. We didn't got that yet, but we already did that in the past 2 times. And why is that an asshole move? Yeah, because you're getting this monster candle. Yeah? Here it went lower than the peak of the higher low, so something around 340. Here it went over the peak of the higher low. And I can only imagine, I didn't play it back then, but I can only imagine your contracts are absolutely skyrocketing. Then it falls back and you think, ah, shit, I missed the move, I take profit. And 2 days after that, you get this. Even worse here, you fall down, you take profit. 2 days after that, you get, I think that was a 1000% move. Yeah, 9000% move. That I mean with asshole move. Yeah. And we might do that again, but it's not sure if we do it again. Because that's really shitty. Because with levels, yeah, I'm always saying everything over 143 is bullish. Confirmation for the upside is everything over 190. And absolute confirmation is everything over 361. But if we do this candle, we could just go up here, reject, do this again, and then a little bit sideways before we get the absolute big. That's why I called it asshole move. Yeah. But it still looks good. And it still looks fucking close. Also maybe coincidence, because a lot of meme stocks looking fucking ready. Yeah. So careful with this. Careful. But it looks good. Okay, and last one, because someone wished it, Sundial. So for Sundial, I think I played it years ago. And I understand why. Because you have big moves here. That's always nice. Also, I completely tracked it, completely new. I have to say, it's one of the clearest and easiest fractals in my opinion, yeah? If it survives. I still have 2 versions. Yeah? We start with the bullish one. You have your all-time high, you see, your lower high has to be this. you fall absolutely low, come up again. This is your midpoint. You fell again absolutely low, under the level where it started. Perfect. So here your aim is finished. For the bullish version, you came up again. This is already your T. You fell under where it started. Perfect. This would be your V. So finished. And then you're doing this higher low under the trend line. Perfect. Is this higher low finished yet? That's the thing. I don't think so. First of all, because you have your ABC, you have your lower high, your midpoint. In the best case, you have to say, no, it's not possible. For me, you still have, this is your T. Yeah. Your 0.786 is still down here. Yeah. So this is your A. So you have to come down under 141. Yeah. It's not much, but still. And then in the moment you finish this, you can go. Yeah. Next moves. Your A has to be over T. So something in this range. 0.5 pullback. And then you already go to your B, which is crazy because your B is 48. Yeah? Also, what I have to show is the side by side. So here on the left side, we just have this little higher low, yeah, at the end, yeah, till today. And on the right side is the whole chart. I think you even see that with the free eye, what is going on here. This whole thing is just this whole thing. Yeah. It's one of the most easy fractals you can see. Yeah. You have your C, your lower high, C, lower high. You fall down, make your M. You fall down, make your M. You drop down, make your T. Drop down, make your T. And that's why I think it's also without my rules clear that we still have to fall down. But it's looking absolutely fucking nice. So that would be the bullish version. The bearish version would mean that our last peak in October was our T. In that case, you have to do a new all-time low, then a high low, then A, and then B. Yeah. Right now, I can't say which one. For me, right now, this is 50-50. Yeah. I would play this just with levels. So I'm absolutely confident that we really, in both cases, have to come at least 1 cent under 141. Yeah. If you bounce here and you break over 2.33, this bearish alternative is dead, and you do your A and then your massive B. If you're breaking under $1.23, you will make a new low, and then you have to do the high low. And I'm always saying you can absolutely fucking great track with fractals. What a fractal isn't predicting is if a company is going bankrupt or delisting. Yeah, that's the only scary part with Sundial, because it's a very beautiful fractal, but it is so low. Yeah. One last thing, how could this last move look like? Well, the only really explanation we have would be something like this. Yeah? You have your V, your higher low, A pullback, run, or the bigger one from our M, where you have your V, somewhere near your higher low, your A pullback. I think this was even, 0.618 pullback. Then you run to your B, 0.5 pullback, and then you see. So you could imagine something like this, and that's why it looks good. I will leave it on the watch list, and if I see any confirmation for any of these two versions, I will make an update. Or if I forget and you're interested, just write in the comments, hey, isn't that a confirmation? Can you look at it again? Then I will do. Okay. So how long was it? 40 minutes. Okay, as always, if you liked it, you can leave a like. Tutorial video I will put here, playlist here. The video with the full stories is here. And if you want to see more, you can leave an hour. Let's see what happens next week. All the other stocks will come in the update. So, see ya.